Did you get this time? Last time you were.
Yeah, you got the black ones on.
He was actually. I noticed that, but then it aggravated me, so I just didn't notice it anymore.
Yeah, I got the black ones on this time.
Do you not play with those?
Yeah, the red ones I have to readjust. They were fitting weird that day. They were.
Do you always wear suspenders?
Yeah,
Show
days and stuff like that. I try to.
All right.
I always look fancified. Or if I'm going out somewhere, or if I'm going to take the kids out, or if I'm going out, yeah, I try to look like this.
All right.
It's like I remember
he spent most of his career
looking
ripped up pants, looking like a wild man, and now he's
all right.
This is a different Brody.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm just like, I'll look like a scrub.
The pants were so bad. Sometimes people were like, Brody, I'm afraid to suplex you anymore, and those are going to rip right off. And I'm like, yeah, it's time to get new ones.
Oh.
I liked that. It was just a cool look, and I had these badass metal knee braces, and yeah, it was a good look.
Was it a good look?
Yeah.
I still need to look you up. I'm bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
No, I'm really bad.
Yeah, it was a wild man look. Wild man. I had a big beard on here.
I saw the pictures.
Well, let's send you a link to what's a good match. Like
please do, because I'm so bad.
We can go a classic one. We can do that one where you gave JJ that one superplex. That was just a good
I don't even know which one that was. What fucking was that? That was, you know.
Well, obviously, or he wouldn't have brought it up.
The Playhouse.
Yeah, it was in the Playhouse part of it.
No, it was at another place we did the suplex where he turned.
He turned it? No, it was in. I can show it to you.
It was at Fairview, I thought.
No, that was
Why am I getting so fucking confused?
The first time
it's all those concussions.
You know how many times I locked up with him?
But the first time.
Do you remember the first time?
Oh, there's been so many of them, dude. It blends now. Even JJ's like, I can kind of remember the first time. He's like, shit, memories will come up on our thing.
It's like when you're married.
Remember that? Yeah, that's how it was. Because we wouldn't even talk about our match, really. We'd just go over the finish. And then it was like, okay, let's do it. I just knew what he was going for. It's like, okay, he's going to do his fucking leg thing. Okay, boom, boom. I'll bump and feed off of it. All right. What do you think?
He's very dedicated to finding this.
He is.
That's the Playhouse.
Okay, I was thinking skate park instead of the Playhouse. Okay. So when you first walk into the youth center in Artesia, that's the Playhouse. We used to have shows in that because we had a 14-foot ring. MWO's old ring, that's what IWE got. That 14-footer, that blue one.
Yeah.
That's what we had for a long time. And then he got the 16-footer, and he didn't know what to do with the 14-footer. So I put it in my garage for a while, and I was like...
You'd just be having was it up?
Yeah.
You just had an up wrestling ring in your garage.
Yeah. Jared would come over, we'd be training, all that stuff, yeah.
That's beautiful.
And then sometimes some other people would come over for a little bit, and then John was going to open up his school, and I'm like, yeah, here you go. And we tore it down. I wasn't there to help load it, but I tore it down for him.
Wait, are we on? Are we going? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I'm sorry.
Are we going?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit. Now, okay, we'll start. Let's start.
Continue on with the story. No, continue on with the story.
I was just like, I'm gonna find this match.
Yep. He was gonna open up a school, and I don't know whatever happened to it. And I'm like, real, shit, bro. Dude, because that 14-foot ring was perfect for like a little garage somewhere just to stay in shape. If you were like, if we had somebody out injured, I would be okay if they had a garage to be like, hey man, here you go. Here's this 14-foot ring. I need you to stay in ring shape. So when you come back, you're ready.
So it's good. That kind is good for staying in ring shape, but not.
Oh yeah, dude.
Not for like learning though, right?
Oh, learning you can learn.
Can you?
Too, yeah, because in Europe,
in it for a long time.
Yeah, in Europe too. That's how they run is 14-foot.
Oh.
Rings. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, in Europe they're really small because a lot of it's just pretty much almost like actual catch wrestling.
Okay.
A lot of school wrestling, like in a way.
And it's real popular kind of put wrestling matches in pubs and stuff like that.
Oh God, yeah.
A small ring.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to bars with matches before. That's fun. It's very intimate.
Yeah.
Very intimate.
Yeah, Braun.
Strip clubs.
I've done a strip club too.
Braun, yeah, he used to wrestle at a strip club every year, and he was like, I miss those days. He was like, sometimes that was fun, man. Well, it started. Are we already started?
We already started.
Okay.
So this is how I roll. Okay. So now you have to tell me again where, because you already told me, but tell me again where you trained.
I trained
so everybody knows.
Storm Wrestling Academy
in Canada. I remember
Calgary,
that.
Alberta, Canada. Yes, I did. I stayed there. He had a house right in the heart of Calgary, it was crazy because there was like the Tokyo Drift gangs were around, and for like a lot of Asians moved to Canada for some reason, and especially Calgary.
Okay.
And these guys were bad because there was like a stabbing around the corner, and then the second stabbing, they
doesn't sound
broke
safe.
all the bus stop windows.
Oh.
And we rode the bus to the industrial park to go to the school because it was, you know, that's where we lived in the bad part, but the industrial park was about 15, 20-minute drive. But like if you walked, it was like 40 minutes usually.
Okay.
So we'd walk a lot of the time because it was cheaper. But yeah, cut through the industrial park, get away from those guys, get to the giant, huge warehouse he had, kind of like a giant storage unit. And it had this little office hooked to it and a little bathroom and a drinking fountain. And there was the ring. It was a 20 by 20 WWE ring from SummerSlam. I cannot remember the damn year.
It had Undertaker's blood on it, right?
Yep. So
Haha,
whatever
see?
the year Undertaker was the American Badass, and he fought at SummerSlam and blood in the ring, whoever that was with.
You don't want to just make shit up like Hulk Hogan?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. Because even I know about that.
Yeah. The ring was given to him by Chris Benoit.
Oh, yeah. That's
that crazy shit happened while I was there. So it was crazy though. Yeah, the regiment was hard. You had to run a lot in the morning. First 2 weeks were, if you didn't pass the first 2 weeks, he pulled you to the side and he said you couldn't make it. And there was 2 people he pulled to the side.
Oh.
And because like the first 2 weeks, you ran 2 miles, and then you come in the ring, you run corner to corner 16 times, then you stretched, and then you ran the ropes for 2 minutes, then you stretched again, then it was regiment time.
That's a lot. That's intense.
and
That's
that was-
military.
That was like 5 to 8 hours a day,
Fuck.
5 days a week.
Jesus.
First 2 weeks. And then after that, it was okay. You guys don't need to run a mile, but you need to run corner to corner still. You need to go ahead and do your rope drills for 2 minutes. And then after that, we'll just go right on to our regular regime.
Well, you need to cull the herd, I think, if you're training like in a professionally way, right?
And that's what he was doing. And the guys who didn't make it stayed still, though. And they learned a lot because they could go on to be managers. They
All
learned how
right.
to take a bump.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. And like he said, you can go on to be a manager. You can go on to be a referee.
All right.
This helps you out a lot. And then he had advanced courses too. And then he had some referees that came in and talked to us, some of them from the old Stampede days. And that was pretty cool. We're supposed to have Edge and Christian show up for a seminar along with
I
Jericho, but that
Died.
Brett was
didn't.
the other one that's supposed to show up too.
Brett was supposed to show up and he never
Those
did. That
3
sucked.
people, I am absolutely enamored with. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the 4th person. That's why I said those 3 people.
Yeah, it was nuts. And
I know what I'm about.
fucking you ran through it, man. And he was harsh. If you fucked up, he'd let you know. Told you. He's like, hey, boom, 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 boom. And if you did it wrong, he's like, what the fuck, guys? Come on. This is what we've been going over. Get it fucking right. And he wasn't.
How he yelled at you guys because you guys were doing
Oh, so
suplexes? What were you doing?
it was about probably 65 days into the 90-day course. And we were doing 5-minute matches, maybe even 70 days, probably 70 days. And we were doing 5-minute matches, 7-minute matches.
Okay.
And this guy did a German suplex, and we didn't go over German suplexes. And he shut the match down right there, and he's like, did we fucking go over that? And he's like, if you want shit like that, take the advanced course, or what you do is later on, couple years into your career, then you start going ahead and learning how to take that right, because he's seen so many people get hurt from him. And like I said, he was so safe to work with, smooth. And like he said too, he's like, you got to remember, I'm training you to go on WWE's road schedule. You're wrestling people who are injured all the time. These guys are always injured. It's not like, I mean, either it's a nagging injury or some of them are serious. But they're always injured, and you have to take care of that guy. And that's why everybody liked wrestling Lance. Everybody says he's a sweetheart because he took care of everybody in the ring. He only hurt one guy, and he hit him with the chair wrong. He thought he was going to get his ass kicked. Bam Bam Bigelow came out, hit him with the steel chair, split open the back of his head. Bam Bam came in the back, and he's like, Bam Bam looked at him. He's like, no problem, dude. And Lance was like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that was the only time, and he always
that's
took
pretty
care of
telling.
people, and yeah. If you, like I said, if you did one little mitch of a move wrong, he would fucking be like, hey, do it like this. Like I told you, you're protecting the person. It's that person first and then you. And all the way down to how you even put a headlock on. The turn of the wrist, like I tell people. How you do a headlock takeover and how you land on that person. You don't really land on them. You're putting your weight on your elbow and your hip.
just supposed to look like you're doing it.
It's supposed to look
Just like
you're
when
wrestling.
you hit in the face, it's right here.
It's on the neck, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not really, if you're really beating the shit out of people, punching people in the face. Now we're UFC, okay? Now we don't need to, it doesn't need to be
I
here.
mean, some of the guys in the roster,
Guys, yeah, sometimes it happens.
it's
A little
they're-
stiff.
get a little stiffy stiff.
JJ's a good one for that.
But the thing is, like, I mean, I prefer it that way.
Yeah, I do too.
Because
Lay him
he
in a little
does.
bit.
What is
Because-
stiffy stuff?
So
Just I
because-
think I understand
so
it,
you
but
can
Yeah.
powder puff a guy and you
I
don't
hate-
even feel like he's hitting you.
Yeah.
Or you get a guy
hate
that's tapping you, and you feel like you're in a fight, so you don't have to pretend you're in a
Yes!
fight. So
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like
I-
snug. That's like Lance always
Okay.
worked snug, and I worked snug. So it's like you can feel it. Whereas I've worked guys who are really light, and it was like, lay him in. I was like, lay him in, and they would lay one in, and then go back to light, and I'm like, what are you doing? Lay it in a little bit.
So in order to get him to lay him in, you get a little snug.
All right.
And that's usually
All
they're
right.
like, okay, receipt, and you're like, thank you. about
Okay.
time.
Okay.
And
A good
then
example of a recent stiff match would have been New Edge Grim versus the Den.
Oh yeah.
Those boys were laying it in.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. That was was legit.
Because you saw they were making contact,
Well-
but they weren't trying to kill each other.
Okay.
in, like, our style of wrestling here is Japanese style, and
Mhm.
theirs is slowed down. It's stiffer.
Oh yes.
More contact.
More storytelling
Like,
in the
I
ring.
It looks better.
A Rick Cartier match.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rick will lay him in
That's,
too.
that's a stiff match.
Yeah, he is.
You know, but like, there's nobody in the roster would never be like, no, I don't want to wrestle Rick. It's like, no, everybody wants to wrestle
Rick.
because so far I think he's got the record for matches of the night. Who does?
I can't remember now, dude, because
He did it for a bit, but like because he was doing the slow down, telling a story.
Yeah. Rick
the
knocks it
build
out of the
up,
park.
yeah, he gets it.
I agree. 120%.
But it's
Yeah,
like when
I
you take
have
Rick's
to go
chops,
back
I
and
get
look at
really
Rick's
into
chops.
his.
he's a machine. He's plus size Terminator.
Yeah.
That's like we got big guys that can move so good. It's amazing. Like Kung Fu Kirk, shit, dude, he can
yeah,
go.
him
Yeah, you
too.
look at that guy and he's like, he's not going to be that fast.
No, but he's
And
like
he
he's
can go.
yeah,
dude.
no, and for a long time, like I wouldn't have expected it.
Expected it
Nope.
when he did the endurance match
with Toa
Telly,
It proved
went
it.
to the limit. It's like because you can't tell if he's gassed.
No.
Are you gassed for that? He goes, oh, I was gassed. Okay, well,
You couldn't tell.
No,
guys
you
are
really
going another
couldn't.
10 minutes,
No,
Serge is another big dude that can
Oh my
go,
God.
man. And it's like, damn.
no, because I
boys.
thought looking at all three of them actually, like okay, they're big dudes. They're gonna throw people around a couple times, and that's. But then I was like,
They're
well,
actually wrestling.
good
Yes.
damn.
Yes. It's insane too, and they can actually perform. And it's like, fuck, dude, for big guys, dude, you guys can move. Shit. And you don't really run out of gas.
No, they don't.
It doesn't seem like they do. It just keeps on rolling. But off subject now, we went on a huge
That's
tangent.
fine. I want to know where you were trained.
This guy.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. When I got that 14-footer, I started training a little bit before that at IWE here and there where people working with them. And then when I got the 14-footer over in the garage, I really worked with him a lot then. And then when we got this, it's been still just touch-ups here and there and, okay, do this and that. And, he's a little limited, he knows, because, he's not young.
Oh, I was like, you're a little limited. Why?
I'm one of the
I forget.
the oldest guys in the
Locker room. There it is.
So like, and
Yeah.
I've got injuries, back injuries, shoulder injuries. Like
It's funny, yeah.
So it's like, okay, so
He's-
my matches, I generally kind of stay on my feet unless there's a point in the match where it tells the best story.
Okay. Fair enough.
So like, my matches, I tend to like with my style of wrestling and as a wrestler, like I like no holds barred stuff, like the one with
Brawls.
Chuck, brawl.
Yeah,
brawl
that was
events.
that was a brawl.
I like stuff because I feel it's more me, like how I would fight in the real world. I'd be
Okay.
grabbing things. I would be using things like in the environment.
Are you a
like-
big fighter then?
No, not
Okay.
But-
I'm just
Yeah, how I would like because
because you're pretty brutal.
My gimmick is essentially me just dialed to 11.
Which
So like when I'm in the ring, I'm thinking as how I would
Okay.
react in a fight or flight situation.
okay, gotcha.
So then it's like I don't have to pretend. I just do it, and it's
Which is-
reactionary. So like
The best
and then
acting.
My character, anyways, is like, or my gimmick. It's take a beating, but don't stop coming. Don't like I'm always like.
I do like
hit
it's
me with the
nice.
hardest thing. Hit me with the trash can. Beat me with the kendo stick. It's like I'm not. I'm going to keep coming.
And that's
And
what I
Cruz
always
in our
think.
match, he really told that story a lot
Jesus
too.
Christ.
Because like in the end of it, I'm biting him, I'm scratching him, I'm at the brink, of like going crazy because he's got me backed into a corner. Now I have no choice. So that's kind of like my gimmick.
Still, my favorite thing is sitting in the back and watching JJ interfere in his match, and JJ will get excited, and I'll just watch him come in and boom, and I'm like, oh, fuck. He felt that. Look at his face. Look at his face.
So JJ likes being
God,
stiff
yeah.
with me,
Ah.
and because he knows I like it, and in a way. But the thing is, I'm in a match, and I know JJ is going to interfere at the end and get the jump on me. So that spot's coming, and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to hurt because I know it's coming. JJ's flying across the ring, double axe handle, just walloping me, taking air right out of me, and then he continues to keep bashing me, and he's just like, I love you, bud. He's like, I got you. It's like,
I love it, dude. I love it.
So sometimes when that happens and he gets a little snug with me, I kind of surprise him because he thinks, okay, well, I gave him the beatdown, we're over with. And then I'll slink out the ring, I'll come after him, and then you can see the look in his eyes. Like, oh. He's like, Jared's going to come beat my ass.
You got to do funny stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to catch them off guard sometimes.
Like the previous match with Chuck, he did something to me pretty funny. Because obviously when he got knocked out and then he did the front face plant, I had to roll him over to pin him.
Yeah.
Well, when the footage comes out, you notice he dead weighted me, and I'm actually my feet, my body sliding as I'm trying to roll him over, and he's just giggling in the ring, and I'm like, you son of a bitch.
Now that you say that, I vaguely remember. It seemed like you were it was very hard for you to roll him over.
No, there was no, like.
Oh, that was on purpose.
He
That's so mean.
So I guess everybody in the back were all screaming, roll over.
I was like, roll him over. Roll him over now. And he's like,
I think at the time I was like, how
yeah.
fucking weak is he? Like, he's not even that big, bruh. Like,
Chuck?
Yeah.
He's a good 400 pounds.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
Chuck's
think he's that big.
Chuck's 4.
I was like,
yeah.
use your muscles.
Use my muscles on dead weight, try to pick this giant clown over. I'm like, what the heck?
Dude, that was hilarious, man. Oh my God.
He
Got a good pop at the end.
Yeah, okay, pop.
Good pop. Yeah, I gotta like those pops are amazing. I love pops.
Do you love pops?
Pops are good.
Why?
Crowd pops.
Well, obviously.
Fuck, that means you're doing good. Like me, as a promoter and a booker, you're sitting in the back and you're like, please have this workout. Please have this workout. And then when it does, you're like, okay, one less sweat. Okay.
Yeah, it's like there's times when we're figuring out some storyline stuff, and then we I'm like, okay, I don't want to experience this on a monitor. I want to feel the energy of the crowd.
Yes.
I'll sneak out and I'll come sit in the crowd in the back or something like that, unless it's like a big championship match or something like that, and then I'll make a presence and
Yes.
next to Brody or whatever. But like most of the time, I'm just sit there and I'm just like, and I'm watching the crowd, and I'm like thinking to myself, okay, here's the moment. Let's see if what you had in your head psychologically, how the crowd's going to respond
react
to this.
and respond.
If this buildup was correct, and then when it goes off and the crowd reacts exactly how you wanted them to react, then you're just like, okay.
Okay,
so really good.
That makes
then
sense.
When it doesn't happen, you feel bad more for them.
Yeah, because you're like, dang, I didn't entertain them. I gave them a disappointing outcome.
And you feel bad for the boys, too. You're like, fuck, sorry, guys. You guys tried. Shit, man. I don't know what happened
Yeah,
there.
it was just like our bad idea, something that which we haven't had anything that fell flat on us.
No,
We've had a lot of
haven't had
surprises
anything.
where we actually got a bigger reaction than we
thought,
Yeah.
but we've never had any like stalemate.
That's what I was going to ask.
Where the crowd is just
Was
sitting
quiet.
there and super quiet pin
The only time
drop.
they're ever quiet is when they're processing what just happened. And then they go nuts.
They're like, wait a minute, what the hell?
I mean, sometimes I feel like I need to buffer a minute. I'm like, did all of this just occur in front of my eyeballs? I sure the hell did.
We do a lot of things that are callbacks and stuff too. They're like oh my gosh, this is gonna happen because this happened. And it's
Yes.
like I didn't realize that happened, type thing. Because a lot of things we set up are early on in the like previous shows.
Storytelling.
We kind of hint towards, and then let people kind of forget about it a little bit, and then
hint
recalls
back.
of things coming back, and then it makes it more meaningful. People are like, oh my gosh,
Oh shit! Yeah, you
Yeah.
do that.
Mhm.
Yes, because I'm remembering
Yeah.
now. That's really and it's fun too because I
Storytelling.
feel like I'm included. Like
Yep.
There's
this is
certain wrestlers that haven't been here in a while for a reason, and then when they make their comeback, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, okay, this happened last time when they were here.
And he was a fucker.
Yeah,
Or I
those
loved
two
him.
do not like each other.
Or I loved him.
Yeah, and then
Fucking hate
and then
Kyle
those will
Shattuck.
collide, or people that had
Yes.
a run for a little bit, and then we let them, take some time off. So when we bring them back, they're more impactful.
Yes.
Because then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
all these older thoughts of like previous shows start going through their head when they see this wrestler come back out and see if like old rivalries will happen or things like that. So
And it usually works out pretty damn good, I would
I
have
mean,
to say.
it seems. I feel like I interrupted your practice over there. Person whose name I don't know.
It's Vincent.
Vincent. I'm sorry. I'm awful. I recognize your face. Okay,
The metaverse.
that seems creepy.
It is weird, isn't it? I don't know.
here's how it's going to be in wrestling when it comes to like AI and stuff like that.
Oh
You'll
my.
be able to like have this, be like, I want to watch Stone Cold Steve Austin
Versus Hulk
Andre
Hogan.
the Giant
Oh, Andre the Giant.
at like in WrestleMania on Mars.
Yeah.
It will form a wrestling match. And
That's
you
going to
can
be
watch it.
horrible.
You can literally in the future, if this could chat
You think
if
so?
the AI gets to a point, because you can literally write movies and have the chat create it for you.
But they're not
Yeah.
good.
But this is early
is early.
technology.
Yeah,
Early
that's
now.
true.
Go 10 years from now, you'll be able to like watch episodes
It's going to
of
be scary.
your favorite TV show within these certain parameters, and it'll be.
Oh God, it's like fan fiction come to life.
yeah, literally.
Oh sweet Jesus.
That's what'll happen.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Twilight,
Mhm.
Hopefully live wrestling by then will be even bigger. Because it's live. You get that emotion and
Some
interaction.
people don't like going anywhere.
See, I'm not a
Isn't
big
that-
TV
yeah, ever since
wrestling
COVID.
watcher.
Yeah, that my thing is like it's hard, so I look at all the like technique of them. What are they doing? How are they running the ropes? What are they doing for their suplexes? How everything is done. I want to see how it's done, and that's what I look for when I watch it on TV usually. 'Cause I'm
Okay,
so
I mean
used
that
to
makes
looking at-
sense.
I'm so used to watching shows now to look for talent that
Uh-oh.
now when I watch TV, I look for that as well because I'm so used to watching independent
But
shows
now, if
looking
you're
for
at
people.
like if you go to a pro wrestling show, that is obviously a whole different mindset of what you're thinking, just because you're feeling the energy.
Oh God, yes.
It's one thing watching on TV or on YouTube. It's a totally different experience. Being there live, seeing it happen, seeing it, because no matter how high def a TV gets,
It's
you
not
still
the
pick up
same. That's
the
why I
soul.
don't like it. I'll watch matches. Like if people
Yep.
say this is an important match to watch,
watch
you
it, yeah.
watch this, but it's
You
just
can- when you're there, you can feel the energy.
you can.
That's what's so amazing about it.
That's what I love.
Like I tell people, there isn't no other drug in life like it.
Mhm.
Like when you go out that curtain and the crowd is so loud, it's epic. It's nothing like it. Nothing on earth will compare to that.
I can imagine.
Oh my God.
When you plan,
I said I watch you guys.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable.
when you plan out your match and you come up with a finish and everything, and you're able to tell a really good story, and you've got the audience it's great that you don't have them at exactly the beginning, and then you start building it up, and then you get almost all the chants
Yeah.
from everybody, all the variation chants.
It's the build, baby.
Fight forever, all this stuff. This is
It's the build.
Tag
All
rope.
that, yeah. All
Yeah.
that, building up, building, and then you get to the end and you get that huge reaction from the crowd. It's like instantly, that's like the biggest satisfaction. Like
In your
all,
head.
all the chemicals in your brain are firing.
Oh God,
at that
yes.
point. You're experiencing pain, joy, adrenaline,
Happiness and
having
sadness.
this, like almost,
Oh,
like,
everything.
almost ecstasy in a way
Uh-huh.
sometimes, because you're just like the release of it all, So it's crazy. Yeah, it's like when they say, yeah, that's the biggest drug in the world. There's nothing to touch it. I mean, there's why guys blew up their.
I was gonna
bodies
say
for
this
it.
is. I can kind of see why people kill themselves
Oh
for
yeah,
it.
yes.
Then
just like, well, how many times did Ric Flair come out of retirement?
Oh God,
You know what I mean?
He's
To
so
go
beat
wrestle
down.
one more
Woo!
time, wrestle one more time.
I love the man,
Yeah.
but God,
And then it's like it's just because
he's
that's
too old.
it's his drug. It's literally the drug. I mean, the
Mhm.
man drinks every day, but I don't even touch how it makes him feel.
No. Dude, that's why he did it as much as he did. You know?
Is that why when people retire, they still stay like in the business then?
Yes, that's
'Cause
a
that
lot of the
makes
reason
sense.
why. And then you have to kind of do that for there to be another business.
Yep.
You got to have people who with experience
Well,
leading the new people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You
But
don't-
what if the new people don't want to be led? What if they want to?
Well, then they usually you don't see them really
No?
succumb to anything a lot of the time.
Pro wrestling, you got to have some humility.
Yes.
You have to be willing.
lot
to
of
learn,
humility.
Otherwise, you're not going to get good in the business. I mean, if you don't have humility, then you're not going to be a great wrestler because
No.
you're not going to get the other guy over. You're not going to make him look good. You're just going to try being it about yourself. So the only way to get that is to have that, humility and ask questions and learn from people that have obviously done it.
Yeah, I still ask questions. I still learn shit to this day.
No matter how old
Asking
you are,
questions
you're
is
never
important.
too
Oh,
old
yeah.
to learn.
Yeah.
Never too old to learn something in anything.
Especially with this business. That's a given. That's a given. I learned a new trick and it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. I'll try that next time, or learn of a different way you can kind of help yourself get up or whatever. And it's like, damn, okay, yeah, a little help here and there. Yeah. And then sometimes it's always just the little things. Like I said, it's just the little things sometimes. And the detail of things. It's awesome.
That sounds very awesome.
I love it.
No, I totally thought you both hated it.
Yeah, hate it. Hate
hate-
wrestling.
So what are you gonna do when we're done with this interview?
I'm gonna get in the ring and do some training.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For why?
Because the school. Getting the school together right now.
I was gonna get it
people
in
ready.
there. I was
Trying to get people ready to sign up, get myself ready, get back into shape, get back into bumping shape. That way when they come in, they can use my body when they practice their moves and do their first moves on them, so they're not hurting each other. And that's another thing what really helped out with Lance's school is you practice all the moves on him first.
Oh.
And then you move
Not on each other?
Yeah, and then
That's
said,
smart, actually.
yeah, and then when he said you're ready to go on to move on to a person that he thought was safe as well, he would pair you guys up and you would then practice the moves on each other.
Well, shite. All right.
And that way, like he said, just in case, I don't want you guys fucking one another up.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and he's like, you could, if that happens, you just fuck me up by accident. And he's like, but don't make it happen. Like, yeah, dude, I don't want to know. Yeah, but that's how he did it, and I'm like, yeah. So I got to get back into bumping shape. I'm about 3/4 of the way there. I'm getting back in there. I won't be ever 100% because of my back, but I'm good with it. If I can get a good 85%.
It's enough to
good to the school. It's not like I'm doing big matches with them. It's not like we're doing a whole bunch of epic moves during those matches. They're all basic.
So are you both doing the school? Are you both teaching?
He does the move sets and stuff like that.
Okay.
I teach like psychology.
He'll be doing a lot
I
of
could see
promo
that.
I
stuff,
help people with
gimmicks.
like figuring out a character, how to work the crowd.
Yep.
Etiquette, things like that. That's about it. Like Brody's the technician.
Yeah.
I'm more of an understanding how the mind works.
Yep. Yeah. I go in there and I perform the moves and tell them, hey, do. And then when we do the matches, I help them set up the matches and stuff like that. Because there'll be like a 7-minute match towards the end of their graduation. Then they'll have with me, and then their other matches, they'll have another 7-minute match with somebody else from the academy, and then they'll have probably a 10 to 12-minute match with somebody from the academy, maybe 1 or 2, depending on how many people are signed up. And one of them, whichever one they can choose from, will be the best filmed one that if they want, they can send up and say, I got trained here, this is my match.
All right.
When I got trained, there was no cell phones in 07.
No, there wasn't.
No,
God, that was
not-
not even that
not
long
a
ago, I
video,
feel, but it
but
was.
None with video or really good picture.
Nokia. You know.
The brick.
And it was like, all you had to go by was this class photo that Lance took of you. He didn't give you
Like,
a document.
Look at where I went.
Yeah, he didn't give you a document or anything. You didn't get any certificate or nothing. It was just, there you go.
Are you going to do this like you got trained? Like
The same schedule and everything. Yeah, they'll run around for 2 weeks out there and do back and forth.
Oh, no shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they got to be physical. I've got other things that they have to do. You've got to be able to pass a physical.
An actual physical.
Yep, an actual physical.
Oh,
just
shit,
in
that's
case.
smart.
Yep, there's waivers to be signed.
Okay.
And then I have other things in place too, like, okay, this is what you're going to need to bring. You're going to need some knee pads. It's the first thing. Elbow pads are optional.
Okay.
I never used elbow pads, but knee pads are a given. You're going to want knee pads. You're going to either want
That makes
wrestling boots or
sense.
wrestling shoes, something to wrap your ankles with, just in case. You know, wrestling tape when it hurt, just one strip around your left hand, because we always go for the left hand, so we have something to grab when it's sliding off. Wrestling tape.
Is that what that's? Okay, so I'm going to ask you real quick. I've seen wrestlers with that black band like up here. What the f- is that for?
Help the pump.
It's a visual.
Visual.
Okay,
your
just
arm
to
look
make it
bigger.
okay. That's what I thought it was, but then I was like,
Help the
that
pump.
seems too simplistic.
There's like a lot of little tricks and stuff like that to like
Make yourself look bigger.
make yourself look bigger. Like
Spritzing yourself with water and conditioner mix. That's another one.
Ew, is that why people come out and they look all shiny?
well, that, and then
That's
if
it.
you want
Warming up
if your
before a
hair
match
is-
too,
is
getting
wet,
sweaty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If your hair is wet, it's fun for you too because when your hair's not everywhere, so it gets pulled.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Oh,
Like
I
with the
wondered
spray.
about that too.
And
Yep.
it cools you down too.
Oh God, yes.
Okay,
Especially
that
when
makes
you're
sense.
getting ready to go out and you're like, shit.
Well, I was wondering because I know like wrestlers back in the day were always like sweaty, greasy, and I was like, what the fuck is the what? I don't understand. Like it's so.
spray down. It helps
so gross.
cool
Yep.
down.
It's to make when you're underneath the lights too. It makes you look bigger because all those little little droplets of water magnify things. So,
Oh,
and from a far away distance,
I guess yeah. I
You
didn't
look
really think about
shinier,
that.
bigger.
They are very shiny, and I do pay attention to them more.
and your eye draws
Yeah.
right towards them. Then,
That's true. All
They're very
right.
muted and flat. They're not as impressive.
yeah,
That is very true, actually.
Yeah.
I hate that that's right,
So,
because
like,
greasies.
Like in professional bodybuilding, when you're up on stage, it's the spray tan to highlight muscles.
And then they oil it.
Yeah, a little bit of oil.
Yeah, they're always oily, too.
But it's a lot of it. It's a spray tan. Like they don't use oil on there because the spray tan will melt down. But like the spray tan itself is very shiny.
Oh, it'll
Okay.
melt down. Lance found
That's
out the hard way.
awful.
He slid right across the ring, right out,
Yeah.
and he put a big brown streak across it. And when he came in the back, Lance was like, and he goes, "I'm sorry." He goes, "No more then. No more spray tan. Just go to the tanner." 'Cause Lance never liked to.
Yeah.
He was like, so
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
slid right across that sumbitch. I'm like, "Oh, that would be fucking shitty." Dude.
Oh,
He's
God.
like, literally, he said. Put a big brown streak across the whole fucking ring mat too. I'm like, oh fuck, that's not good. He's like, no, it wasn't.
There's a couple wrestlers that we know that go get a spray tan.
Yep.
And I'm always wondering to myself, like, you gonna get that all over my ring? Type thing.
Sometimes, yeah.
But and they never had a problem.
No.
I like them when they glow like Seamus.
Seamus is good. Pasty white.
Yeah, he is. He's a pasty white boy. I like pasty
He is
white boys.
pasty white. My goodness. And he's a good pasty white boy though.
He is.
He is a good
He is
pasty
great.
white boy. I love him.
I always notice him in the fucking ring. There's no
girl,
trouble tracking
no,
him. He's
Red
like
and white. That's it. That's Seamus, man.
Red, white, and green.
Yeah, green trunks, dude.
Where's the black?
Fuck.
But yeah, just for colors.
Wow.
Well, like,
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
like-
It is, I didn't think of that. Shit.
Well, the trend right now is like I don't understand it. It's like they're
Huh.
like, oh, you gained too much weight. I'm like, he's in a bulk. First of all, he still looks like a monster.
It is
What's a
like-
bulk exactly?
Yeah.
Nobody really explains what that is.
Huh?
What's a bulk? Everybody's like, he's in a bulk. I'm like, what
Gaining
the
a
fuck
bunch
is a
of weight.
bulk?
You bulk up.
Bulking.
You bulk up a lot of weight. So like
Yep.
right now, I'm like bulking up. So
I'm
eating
also bulking up.
X amount of calories, so I can lift weights heavier. And then when you lift
Oh.
heavier, you obviously gain more strength and more muscle mass. And then when you do a cut, you cut the body fat, so you up your cardio, you change your diet, and then
less calorie intake.
less calorie intake, and then your body basically
Burns the
burns
fat.
body fat away.
A little bit of muscle, a little bit of
Yeah, a
muscle,
little bit of
burns.
burns away. But for the most part, then you're really cut. So in order
Yeah,
to
you're
gain
lean.
any type of
Oh.
size, you have to bulk up.
I mean, that makes sense because you can't turn muscle out of skinniness. Like, where are you making the
Well,
muscles out
so
of?
you make okay. So muscle, it's there's no such thing as like muscle turn to fat. That's a myth. That doesn't happen.
No.
What you need is when you're feeding your body with the right amounts of food, you're gonna be gaining a little bit of body fat with it.
Oh, hell
Especially if you're on the correct diet. So you need that excess amount of calories to restore your glycogen cells and stuff like that in your muscles. So in order for them to grow, so the whole process is being able to get through your workouts and shred down all your muscle fibers and stuff, so that we put enough damage on your body that your body goes into survival mode, where it's like, hey, we need to repair itself and grow stronger, so we can handle this extra
Amount of
load
weight.
every day.
Oh,
And then that's how you
okay.
gain muscle mass. But the only way to do that is if you ingest enough food to get you through the workout and to continue to grow. And because
Okay.
you can't build a house out of toothpicks. You
No,
know? It's
no.
like it's going to take.
I mean,
too
you
long.
could, but
Yeah,
it
it's
would
gonna take
be.
too
Too
long.
long.
I'd rather
Yeah.
have some lumber here. So that's the same thing with food. It's like people are like, oh, well, I'm trying to gain muscle, and they'll stick to the same diet they've been eating. Oh,
No.
but I just added a protein shake.
No.
No, that doesn't do anything.
It's 5 to 6 meals a day. I can tell you that right now. I went from 202 when I did that diet you had me on before I hurt my back to 230 in 6 months. 6 meals a day. Chicken, chicken, green beans, rice, and sweet potato.
Sweet potatoes.
That was
Mm.
it. That's all I ate.
Wow.
6 meals a day.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I would prep it all for 6 months. I'd prep
Yeah.
it all, take pictures, send it to him, and he's like, "Yep, keep doing that. Keep doing that." And I was like, I just kept doing it and lifting,
His
and it was like,
metabolism was so high at that time.
"Ah,
I can imagine.
He was burning through most of his calories throughout the day.
easy."
To the point he was drinking. You're drinking Dr. Pepper just so you can get
Calorie
in you,
intake.
because otherwise he was going to wither down to be too small.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
using pop to help with,
Holy
with
shit.
sodium intake and everything.
And that was
like,
when he was
"Fuck."
like super bouncing off the walls and just all over the place.
I was wrestling, I was grinding, and I was like, shit. And then COVID came, and I'm like, well, I can use this for an advantage now. I can just gain a whole bunch of weight the smart way and lift and get huge. And then when I come back, I'm just gonna make a big return, man. And then during that, my back just said nope, and I'm like, gotta lose all this weight now.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. And now I'm down to 204 from 237.
Are you trying to gain weight again?
No, I'm trying to lose it.
Okay.
I'm trying to get down to 195, 197 would be
So it's
good
less,
for me.
less weight on his spine.
Okay,
Right on
that
my
makes
back.
sense. That's what I'm trying.
I can
Yeah, that
train
makes
and
sense.
I could be more flexible, and I don't get injured as fast when training people, and that would just be, I don't want that. So that's the goal right now. But getting there is a son of a bitch. It's easy to go. I don't know. It was so hard to gain weight. It was so hard to gain weight. That's why I had to eat that much.
But why though? Is
my
it just your metabolism?
metabolism.
Is it
Everybody's
still that
different.
high?
Everybody's active. It's so
Everybody's
active.
combination
Mine's
is
starting
different.
to come back finally,
Okay.
because I'm starting to be more active again finally, and I'm up moving around more. Whereas when I was in the wheelchair, shit, when he came and see me, he was like, "No, dude," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right?" And he's like, "You're getting big, bud." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm almost 240. It was 237.
It's like, how
Wow.
much eating? Well, don't eat this anymore.
Yeah, he's like, "Quit eating this. Quit eating this."
Oh, the other thing is you were pounding PB&Js.
I was loving PB&Js.
Oh,
'cause I was hurt.
PB&Js are my comfort food when I'm
And they
not.
were easy at home. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was hurt, and I'm just like, PB&Js. But now it's like, oh, I do a fast in the morning sometimes when I need to, and when I know I overate at night, or if it's like leg night, I don't do my fast. I eat regularly because legs take way more. Like last night, I had leg night, so I ate 2 dinners.
Everybody says leg night. What the fuck is leg night? What do you
Leg
do?
day.
Or leg day? What do you do?
Oh my god, I got a vertical leg press machine.
Oh yeah, I love that.
It's fucking horrifying.
Oh
I
Oh my
did it
god,
6
that's
times.
one. Oh my god, that's one of my favorite things. Even now, I can still do like 90 pounds, which for me that's a lot.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I was like at 250. I was doing them sets.
Holy
and
shit!
I
Wow.
was, not even very much. When I was really into
It's a whole person.
powerlifting, I was young and I was like 23 and I was 225. I was benching 435. I could deadlift it 4 times and I could squat it 3 times.
Holy.
And that all I had was 435 because what we had was me and my brother lived in this upstairs apartment, and where the kitchen table was is where we put everything, because we figured, okay, you figure out an average family's weight, which this is a 2-bedroom, so figure the mom, the dad, and probably a kid or 2 kids.
Mhm.
And then the weight of the dinner table and everything, and we're like, okay, we can go up to a certain amount of poundage.
That's very smart.
Well, we didn't want it to cave in because the people underneath of us were older.
Oh, God.
And we were like, okay, so this is the
Oh.
idea, is do it like this, and it worked. So I was thankful for that, but that was all I figured out I could get up to. And then I started bodybuilding at the time, just cutting down, getting from bulking and just cutting and getting ready to come back and wrestle. Because when I was in Tennessee, I tried, but they had unsanctioned fighting there. And yeah, and unsanctioned fighting, you didn't even have to go get a slip from a doctor or anything. You just had to sign a waiver and you could fight.
See, that's so weird to me that other states have that kind of stuff.
It sucks
But
because wrestling
does
went
it?
right away.
Really?
Well, okay, you can go watch, you can pay $30 and watch 8 matches that are professional wrestling, or you
Okay.
can go pay $30 and watch 30 real fights.
That's a lot, though. Jesus.
That's what they were doing.
My God.
Those matches could last a minute. 2
Oh.
minutes.
And that's why
All
they
right.
were doing it. And that's how they
Oh.
lasted.
Cheap beer and yep.
All right. Fair enough.
And
And
it
the
sucked.
stigma is people saying, "Oh, why go watch the fake stuff?
That's exactly
Let's
what
go
it
watch
was.
the real
yes.
stuff." It's like
Because the real
It
stuff's not that
sucked
exciting.
ass.
Like,
and the
I'll
thing
go to the
is,
bus
what
station.
Pro wrestling is it's real too. It's
It's definitely real.
it's real. It's choreographed fighting, but
It's real.
It's real. It's like the body slams are real. My favorite thing is Ken Shamrock was asked. They said, "What was more dangerous, when you were in MMA or when you were in pro wrestling?" And he goes, "Oh, pro wrestling." He goes, "That was way more dangerous."
Fuck
He
yeah, it
goes,
is.
When I was a MMA fighter, he's like, I would protect myself. I'd block. I'd get a guy on the ground, put him in a submission hold. The match could last a couple minutes, and then wouldn't have to fight for another couple months. And he says, I had time to heal and train and do all this stuff. When I was in pro wrestling, if somebody was giving me a body slam, I was taking the body slam. So I was taking that punishment on my body
Consistently.
He says, that took way more,
Oh, dude,
way
yeah.
more dangerous and stuff, and took years off my life more than MMA ever did. So it's so funny, when people think, oh, you guys do that fake stuff. It's like, it's way more athletic, and you're taking a lot more punishment than people take credit for.
Way
It's
more
like, yeah,
punishment.
the punches are held back and stuff like that, and you're not purposely
Well, you're not
knocking
like
the guy out.
knocking each other out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But you're still taking the
The
moves,
bump.
and you don't get to block. You
And
know,
No.
Even just going, does it hurt? Does it smart going against the ropes? Because I feel like yes.
It hurts.
Oh, it
when you
hurts.
walk the ropes.
Okay. So like literally everything you guys do in the ring
Yeah.
causes some kind of pain.
Discomfort.
And I tell people that like the events around the physical stuff are contrived,
Yes.
but the physical stuff is
Is
the
real.
realest thing
Yes.
ever.
Yes.
when you get Caesar in the top turnbuckle,
Oh, God.
doing,
Uh-uh.
Moonsault.
moonsault
Mm.
off top,
Jesus.
and the guy ducks out of the way and he hits it and bounces off. It's like you can't tell me oh well, that's fake.
There's literally no way. Yeah.
And then you want to tell people that say that, I'm like, so what you're telling me is you can get in that ring
Mhm.
And do that.
and some magic, power happens.
And all of a sudden, it's
It's-
fucking like a feather you landed
Yeah,
on.
it's like you land on this super cushy trampoline. And
No,
then
that's hard.
My favorite thing was I was going over some training, and my younger brother was here, and he says, "Hey, can you get in the ring so I can lock up with you? I want to try this one thing." And he's like, "You're not gonna hurt me, are you?" I'm like, "No, don't worry about it. You're not gonna leave your feet." So he does this thing, and I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then all of a sudden, I hear crash, and I look over at him, and he's like, laying there on the ground on the mat. And I'm like, "What'd you do?" He goes, "I tried doing an elbow drop." And I'm
Oh.
like, "This thing ain't soft at all." And I'm like, "Dude, now picture yourself on the top turnbuckle doing the same thing."
Oh,
Okay, and I was
God.
like, and you got to get up.
Yeah, you
it's
gotta
like you
get
can't
up.
just lay there like you're doing now.
No, you gotta get up.
Moaning.
I mean,
It
you want to
sucks.
sell. You want to sell that it hurts. Sometimes you don't need to sell. It just does. You're like, there's sometimes you can watch some videos of Brody. You can tell when something really sucked.
Because I'll lay there and I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
His selling is completely different from
Real to reselling.
yeah.
Because when I sell, it looks real, but when I don't sell and it really hurts, it doesn't look real. You're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. And I'm like, oh, it was. I just don't know how to take this right now.
Yeah, he just can't do this. But he's just like,
Yeah. I've hit him so hard that I felt my bunghole just fly right out of me, and I didn't shit myself. But afterwards, I'm like, I'm trying to go for the cover, and I'm like, I can't move my legs or anything right now. Why did I do that? Why did I do that? That was really dumb. Yeah, those were bad days.
And then on the ride home,
Oh, fuck that ride home, dude. Fuck that ride home.
You have the adrenaline dump, and
You start getting the shakes.
You start getting the shakes.
Oh no
I get
shit!
so bad.
Oh god!
I get so bad.
Oh,
I have to
wow.
put, like sweaters, I'll have a blanket in my.
Yep.
Oh my
I'm like, the
god!
heat's on, and I'm like,
I mean that makes sense.
here it
You
goes.
get the adrenaline dump. You know, the day's over with, and then all of a sudden, all the injuries that you acquired.
So I have a ramp into my house.
Starts
Like-
coming in.
Wrestlers smoke
creeping in.
weed.
It's like so, like the night the,
It doesn't
the
work
last,
sometimes.
The last show, you
Just
guys
gotta
were
crawl
here
in.
talking to us.
Yeah.
That's when I started feeling all my stuff, and I'm just like,
Oh god, I'm so sorry. I
Like-
feel so bad.
no, it's fine. It
we
was
were
just one of
here
those things
so
that
late though.
but I was gonna hurt regardless. But
Yep.
it's like there was a point where I'm like, okay,
I kind of noticed you were like over there and you looked
I'll
kind of
stretch it.
yeah.
I'll stretch it out and just getting it. So it's like because at this point, it's like my body has finally stopped moving. So now everything's starting to cinch together, which is the worst. But yeah, like we'd be riding back from a show, and he'd be like, "Yeah, my jaw hurts." I'm like, "Yeah, and so does mine," and because you did this to me or whatever. Like, man, I can't figure out why my thumb hurts. Like you're thinking back on the match, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm not sure."
Or I'd ask him, I'd be like, dude, what did I do in my match? My legs, I'm so stiff right now. And he's like, dude, did you not see what you guys did? I'm like, I don't remember.
Suplex onto the apron. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, the spinning one. Shit, we did that one in this one, didn't we? And he's like, yeah, look at you. And I'm like, oh, it was cool looking.
And then it's funny now that because he's not wrestling, and then after my match, and then our matches are on Saturday. Sunday morning, it's time to clean up.
I come in and I
place.
mop this motherfucker, get all the
Clean up
chairs
this whole
ready.
place.
He starts adding the videos
Yeah,
and
I
shit
start-
right off the rip.
Getting more work done, but I'm moving really slow, and he has no sympathy.
I have none because he
No
didn't for me.
I didn't for him either, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're feeling great." And I'm
Start poking him. He's like,
like,
oh, right now, no, dude.
no.
And I'm like,
No,
oh,
no,
come
like,
on.
I
I'm
use
jerking
my
him
face.
around. the world.
So not nice.
Yeah.
He likes it. He likes
He
it.
likes it. He probably does.
And then eventually I'll start moving around. I start.
Feeling better, yeah.
Once you
gotta move.
limber up a little.
You'd call me the next day and I'd be like, yep, I'm alive.
Yep. You just you're on your chair, aren't you?
Yep. I used to have I had a special
Recliner.
chair. Recliner then. Yep, no, I'm just sitting
Your
here.
after wrestling chair.
Dude, it was so bad. So bad. Because I was I knew I wasn't getting booked at too many places. So I'm like, well, if I'm only getting one match this month, I'm going to make sure this match is the greatest. But then it started to get, I got 3 matches this month. I can make all 3 the greatest. And then it was like, oh, you're booked almost all month. You can go down here and do that one, and you come up here and do this one. And then it was like, now you're canceling shows, Ben. You can't do that. You're starting to get hurt too much. Yeah, it was getting bad. And I was like, all right, I got to quit doing that. I got to learn.
You gotta work your wage.
Well, my thing was I would always my thing was like, okay, how can I go out there and make everybody talk about me when they leave? And I don't want
Pull your
to.
pants down.
Yeah, there you go. I don't want
I was thinking be an asshole.
I don't want to be like getting match of the night or anything really I don't want to bury anybody else. I'm just trying to. My whole thing was if I can get that guy over and make him look like a fucking badass, no matter who he is, no matter how good he is, if I can get him over and make him look like a badass, because I was a big face, I win. And I did it. And every time it worked really good.
I like that. I like people that can get other people over.
Brody can get a vacuum cleaner over.
Yeah, I had a wrestling match.
I have that on video.
Yeah.
Where
No, you are not
There
serious.
were some people that came over.
Oh my god.
And they're like,
They're old
he was
Brody
in the ring,
fans.
he was vacuuming, and they're all like, yeah, Brody's in the ring again. And I says,
I
Brody,
gotta pee really quick.
You
Sorry,
can
break
hand
time.
it to him.
break there for a second. Yeah, keep telling.
Yes, keep telling the story.
So Brody's in the ring vacuuming, getting ready for a show, and there were some older fans that came in, and they seen Brody wrestle many times, and they're buying tickets to the show. And I says, "Hey, I bet you I can make Brody have a match with that vacuum cleaner." And they looked at me like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, watch. I bet you'll put on a really good match with that vacuum cleaner." And they're like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, you get your phone out because you're going to want to record this." And then I yell out, "It's like, Brody." He's like, "What? What?" I says, I think that vacuum cleaner is calling you out, man. I think he wants to challenge you in the ring." And all of a sudden he just starts going nuts and turning into Brody, and he put on a match. I mean, he took a suplex from the vacuum cleaner, like the vacuum cleaner hose, got him in a headlock.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Like gave him a running bulldog. Like it was a match. And like everybody, it was funny because everybody thought it was really funny. But then they were invested in the match. They were just like, wait a minute, he's wrestling a vacuum cleaner. They forgot for a second because they're just like, wow, this is a really good match. It's like because he made it look believable.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that.
He can have a match with a vacuum cleaner. So, but Brody's always had that reputation as like people that were coming in to wrestling and they're like, hey, you're going to be wrestling Brody. And they're like, oh man, I don't know if I can. I'm like, no. Brody can have a match with a mop. So don't worry about it. He'll make you look good. So just follow his lead. Of course, one time, his worst match, we told him that, we told the guy that, oh yeah, you're going to be, he was booked to wrestle Brody.
What are you talking about? Which one?
Well, we don't have to name names.
Oh, I don't name names. What?
But the one time it was like a certain somebody was supposed to wrestle you, and he called the match early or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you can tell the story.
So, we're getting,
Thank you. That's been bugging the shit out of me every time I look at your tie.
so, what we're doing is, I was kind of the door guy, and for a little bit, and if people needed to like he was like, well, wrestle this guy and tell me how good he is. Wrestle this guy and tell me how good he is. What do you think of him? And I'm like, all right, I'd wrestle him and be like, yeah, I'd give him my honest opinion and shit. And this one guy comes in and he's like, I'm like, all right, this is going to be different, but all right, I'm going to, test him out and see. The beginning goes all right. And then right off the rip, like we get to where I'm starting to lay him in because it's the opening, man. I got to do my shine. I got to make sure that, I out wrestle him because he's the heel, and then he cuts me off.
All right.
So I give him a big boot, and supposedly his knee goes out when he takes the bump.
Okay.
And I go to cover him. I said, well, your knee's out. I look at the ref, which is Jared. Was it you, the ref? Yeah. And I'm like, just count to 3. And Jared's like, all right, 1, 2. And right after 2, the fucker goes, I'm fine. I'm just going to kick out. And I'm like, spin it 3. And I'm like, just spin it. If your knee blew out.
Just stop.
And then, like, the bad thing was, like, right when I tied up with this guy, it was like, I instantly know how you're going to be. Like, I can just feel it. And it's like, tie up, and you can tie up, usually, like, 90% of the time, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, cool. This was like, tie up, and I'm like, fuck.
All right.
Fuck. When you've been with enough people who are really smooth.
Well, that's what a vibe is. You're just picking up on shit that you've experienced, and you just like don't consciously. So,
and as soon as I tied up, I'm like, fuck. This is gonna be etchy and weird shit.
Oh.
Well, here we go. Make it as good looking as you can. Then that happened. I'm like, fuck me. And I came in the back, and everybody's like,
dude.
And I'm like, dude.
It's like you had the worst match of your career.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that was.
And
that was.
Constantly.
Yeah, you do.
He did. That's what he was like, the worst match. And then you were like, bloop, I'm back.
Yeah, it sucked. And then the next show, I'm like, I'm going to fucking tear the whole house down now. I got to reimburse myself or reimburse the people, dude, because that was fucked, dude. They paid to see me out there, and I fucking gave them 5 minutes of just dog shit. And it's like, sometimes at
least you admit it.
And sometimes some people just, they get into the business and they get deep into it. They start wrestling, and it's like, okay, maybe you should be outside of the ring in the business and not in the ring, because I'm not the only one who had problems with that person in the ring. You know what I mean? So it's like, fuck, you know?
I mean, there are some people that I feel like shouldn't wrestle.
Oh God,
Like,
I
you
know
might
quite
be
a few
good
of
at
them.
stuff. Yeah, you know shit.
I know
You
quite a few
might
of
be
them.
good at something else.
Yes.
Or maybe you just aren't good at any of it, and that's okay to not be good at stuff.
And that's it too.
As long as
It's-
you try, right?
Yep, that's it. And it's like, fuck. But when you, and it's weird like that. I tell people, like when you tie it up with people for so long, like instantly you know. It's so weird, and you don't know until you're in there. You can kind of assume all you want, because I've had wrong assumptions about certain people and tied up with them and was like, holy shit,
Oh, okay.
this is fucking incredible. You know what I mean? So you can't knock them or anything like that until you're in there and you actually feel it, and then you're like, oh fuck.
Does
Either
practice
it's a
feel the
good-
same? Can you tell in a practice if
Yes,
it's
you
going to
can
be?
tell.
Okay.
You can tell if somebody's too nervous. You can tell if somebody. It's all about loosening up, man. You got to be loose,
I can imagine that's so important.
and it's staying loose with a certain degree of not being too loose. You mean you can't go full JJ ragdoll and he gets hit, just fucking dead. I mean, God, when he does that, I'm like, oh, something broke on his
I
legs.
always think something breaks.
I'm like, I'm waiting for him to come back and go, yeah, I fucking tore my knee in half on that one, but I think I can tape it back together, Ben. And I'm like, yeah, I think you can, brother. Fuck me in, bro. That's how he is, you
JJ
know.
has that. I always
Rubber
think
band man.
He looks like one of those toys they used to play with as a kid, where it was like made out of beads, like an animal.
You showed me that,
And
yeah.
You press the bottom of it and it collapses.
And then you
Oh!
put it back
Oh,
together.
God, yes.
No, it's-
Oh!
Like that was JJ. Every time you touch him, he just like this, and he just
He
falls.
does.
And then he just snaps right back, and it's like he just has that ability to have like almost like instantaneous drunk.
Yes,
Like,
dude,
like
yes.
Drunks survive car accidents and stuff like that because they're so
because
loose.
they're so loose and they just go with the.
They go with everything.
Yeah.
JJ is you just touch him. He's got this sense where he just goes. Boop.
You shut it down.
Yeah, he
Like Chris
just
says, I could
down.
just shut it down whenever I want. And I'm like, I can to a certain extent, but not as good as he could.
No, don't matter
No.
where he's at either. He can
No.
get tied up in the ropes and shut it off.
Well, look, when I did that brain buster to him onto the apron
Oh
there.
yeah.
Because they have the short ring, so it was like we would pick up each other and I'd pick him up for a brain buster right onto the apron.
Okay.
And it was like, wham! And he was fucking just, I'm like, wham!
Everybody was just like,
It really does look like
You finally
he just
kill
like
him? You know, like-
collapsed.
Bad,
Yeah.
yes.
well, and the thing is like hit that ability for JJ to be able to sell like that.
It's incredible.
It's kept him from being injured.
Yes, because he's so loosey.
So loose.
He doesn't
that
get
everything
injured very
rolls,
often.
He's like water.
Mm-hmm.
So he just rolls it off. He doesn't stiffen up, so that doesn't give anything for his body to tear.
And it sucks stiffening up at the wrong time. I know that one.
Yeah, when he did that little, I don't know what it's called, but where the one guy is like this and then you flip over.
Yep.
That was like water.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just like,
Either the
Mhm.
table bump.
Yeah,
is that
the
what
table
it
bump.
is?
I
A
love the
table bump?
That's what they
Okay,
call
that's
that one.
fun.
Yep, they call that the table bump. When you're getting guys ready, the table bump, flip over, and then you get to where you're used to doing that over him, and then the guy still sits there like a table, and then you sit on him, and you get used to just going back, and getting used to going back, and going back by yourself, landing flat, chin tucked, arms out. And then once you get used to that, and then you start working on taking a bump from your feet. And then that's when it starts getting okay. Now we're going to work it out running and bumping. Okay, and then after that, okay, now it's smooth. You see, and then you work slowly up. You know, because if they can't bump, tie up, or run the ropes, they can't be in the business. Those are the three main things.
Well, yeah, that's everything. Everything builds off of that. I even know that.
Mm-hmm.
I may not know what they're called, but
Yeah, but they can't do that. It's like, fuck. And then now those are the hardest thing. Keeping your feeding right is the hardest thing to remember too. Footing. Doing the moves ain't bad anymore, especially when you've done them enough times. It's your footing. It's knowing where your placement at is in the ring at the right time, when to do it, keeping your footing straight so you're not tripping all over each other. There's a certain way you have to put your footing.
okay.
It's very detailed. It goes down to the exact detail. And some people, they don't really teach that too much. And it's like, I think they should be taught a little bit more. And
I'm assuming you're going to be teaching that.
oh God, yes.
Okay.
And really focused on a lot
Ring
more.
awareness. where you're
Ring
at
awareness,
at all times.
definitely.
So that way that prevents injury and people getting hurt and things like that. Because if you're in the wrong spot and you give a guy like a German suplex and you're too close to the ropes, you can sling him right out of the
Oh yeah,
out of the
dude.
ring. You know,
I've seen it done a million times. That's why I always tell people when you're doing suplexes, walk out from underneath your feet. Belly to back, suplex, walk out from underneath your feet.
because you're going to be in that space.
You're in that space right there. You're
Guaranteed.
guaranteed to put him there. Who cares about your body? You're protecting his body. You're the one who has him in the air.
Okay.
You know, so it's like, and like I explained, like watching the people do the tree fall suplex, I just cringe. I'm like,
It makes me cringe, for Christ's sake, and I didn't even realize it was like different from the other.
yeah. And then
Now that you say that, like I'm
when you pick up and walk and you walk out from underneath you, the guy's not really falling from that height. You're actually creating less of a height for him to fall. You're creating less of a bump. You're making it to where you're coddling him on the way down, and then when he hits, he's taking the big, nice spring, and you're taking that. Okay, yeah, because those bumps are the worst. It's the ones that you get running and you get hit, bump, 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 bump. Or when you're doing a move to somebody, usually hurts more than them actually taking the move. Like the suplex for me, it hurts me more. And I'm like, how do you feel? And they're like, I feel great. I'm like, good, let's get back up now. We got to get up, bud. Suck the air.
suck the air.
Yeah. Now, punches and kicks, oh shit, I always potato people.
What's that? What's potato
So,
people? Look,
okay,
come on.
so
I'm like,
tell a Royal Rumble story then.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Abbreviated for reasons, but
for
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Brody's first man in this Rumble,
God, I'm so tired.
and I was
Fuck.
like 10th man in, 11th
Yeah.
man in, and I get in, and me and Brody are gonna have a little spot where we're going at it.
Okay.
So I get in the ring, I give a couple stunners, get everybody else like out of the way. So it's just me and Brody, and then me and him have kind of a
Okay.
shoving match. And then I'm like, all right, you plant one right here, and he come back and he blasts
And
me.
I was like, I'm sorry. Dude. I'm like, I did not
Blasting
mean that.
and like my ears were ringing, and I'm like,
What the fuck? I'm like, I'm
and all of a
sorry.
sudden Brody's like, he's like, come on.
I was like, you gotta get it back now.
And I just fall back and I clocked him, and then he's in there like, and I'm just like, you better bring it. And he walloped me again.
Oh
And
my
I'm just
God.
Like, okay,
It wasn't as bad as the first one, at least.
And then, so I clocked him again, and we're both going at it, and then finally, like a bunch of guys jump us, you know.
Well, after that Royal Rumble, you
After
gotta
the
say
Royal
that.
Rumble, we're driving home. and-
No, in the back. When we got to the back, everybody was like, what the fuck was going on out there? Everybody's like, what the fuck? People have got black eyes. Other people have got bruises on their ribs. Everybody was fucking laying him in. And I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, I was number one. I really am sorry. And I'm just like, nobody's blaming me. Nobody's looking at me. Good.
I was like looking right at
I
him.
know.
You set the
Like,
tone for everything.
I fucking didn't.
You
set
Oh,
the
it was
tone.
bad.
We're driving home, and Brody's like, my jaw hurts. And
Yeah.
I'm like, good. I'm
Oh,
glad.
God. That fucking hurts too.
Think.
I didn't mean it. Or JJ, like he always have the joke when he's on the second rope, he'll always say, "Just don't hit me with a spinning back fist." And I'm like, "Fuck you," because I had this idea. I seen it, and I'm like, JJ, if I hit you right, I can hit you with this, and it's not that bad. And he's like, "Try it."
No.
First one, whack, and he's like, "I don't know if you should do that." And I was already spinning. Hit him again, and he's like, "Bro, no." I was spinning again, and he goes, "Fuck!" And then just whack, and I go, "Are you okay, dude?" That first one was hard. The second one wasn't that bad, but this last one, I hit you with my fist, dude. And he's like, "No more of those. No more of those. You're done with those." And it was while he was on the top rope. He's telling me, "Fucking quit."
That sounds so much like him.
And
That
I'm
was-
like, "I am so sorry, dude." And he's like, "You're fine. Just do the fucking suplex now."
We did the one thing though. We just talked about earlier in training, like the back fist.
God, then he fucking, yeah. So he does this roll. I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to roll up, roll back, and roll back up again. And I'm going to hit you with the back fist thing. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I kind of forget about it because I do that during our match sometimes. And he goes and rolls. I'm like, oh yeah, this thing. And he goes to roll back. And I'm like, whack, right in the fucking face and mouth. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. And he goes, oh fuck, I'm going to bleed. I'm going to bleed. And then he's on me. And I'm like, I have no time to sell it. And I'm like, just thinking, I'm like, okay, my face is fucked up. Or Braun, we were wrestling a long time ago. We were wrestling, and he goes to do the code breaker. And at the time, I think he was Jacob Mercury at the time. He was going to do the code breaker, and he hit it. And I'm all fucking happy and excited. And he comes up to do it, and I hug his body, and I'm like, fuck, what am I doing? Wham! And I'm like, go down, pin, all that shit. And we get to the back, and he's like, "Dude, your tooth is gonna fall out." And I was like, "I can feel it. Is it out? It's this one, isn't it?" And he's like, "It's that one." And I go to Sabrina, and Sabrina's like, "We just got your teeth fixed." And I goes, "Oh!" And I go in the bathroom, and I'm like, "All right, just pushed it back up in, and there it is. It's still there."
Oh, well, shit.
So
All right.
it's stuck. And I was like, and then after it, Braun's like, "Dude, my knee's killing me so bad." He's like, "How's your fucking face?" And I go, "Dude, it hurts." And he's like, "That's what you get, dumbass." And I'm like, "Well, I just fucking was so like, oh,
So
fucking get so excited."
Braun's knee.
Oh, God.
Oh, the Carpe knee? Yeah, the rough one.
So they did the street fight. It was him and Braun.
It was the end of our
It was the end of
feud.
their feud. It was a change of the championship, and they're going through tables, like refs. Like there was like, I have to watch it again, but it's like I think I was the
Second ref
to get knocked out. They had tacks all over the thing,
Yeah.
and we were trying to figure out something like to give Braun a reason to attack me as a ref. I
Okay.
says, okay, it's a no holds barred match. I said, do this. When Brody's on the ground and you're trying to pin him and he won't go down, get mad. So I said, grab a hold of his face and said,
Thumb his eyes.
Oh, shit.
Push, I told Braun, push
Yeah.
your thumb
Oh.
in Brody's eyes. Because as a ref, even though it's no holds barred,
That's fucked up. You
that's-
want
Yeah.
you want him to maim him.
Right.
So that would give me a reason
To interfere.
Break him
and
off.
push
Okay.
him away, check on him. And I says, then you can do your move. And Braun
Okay.
at the time had this move called the Carpe Diem.
Take the knee
Now,
pad down,
the problem
baby.
was I was out of position.
You were on the wrong
I
side.
was on the wrong side.
So hit you with
He
the
had
wrong knee.
He had to hit me with his opposite knee that he's used to.
Oh.
And he came in and
Hot.
came in really hot.
Oh.
Which
and
means
he-
fast.
Oh, I know that.
Oh, yes.
Knocked me in
In the
the
temple.
And I
Oh.
went down.
And he's smiling. The fucker's
Oh.
smiling while he's out. So he's like this. He's like,
The thing
and I'm
is,
like, "Why were you
I
smiling?" He's like, "I don't fucking remember."
and I landed on all these tacks.
Oh.
And then I get
No,
rolled
thank
out,
you.
and I come to as I'm falling, and then I hit the cement like that. And then one of
Rick's there, standing there,
Rick
helping you
came
out.
in, and he goes up. He's like, "You okay, buddy?" And I was just like,
I loved it,
yeah,
dude.
just leave me here. He goes, "You got tacks in your head, bud." I can feel him. I can feel him. How'd that look? Look nasty. Good. Good.
I gotta go now, bud. That's
I'm
what
gonna
he-
go night night now.
oh my
And you
god.
guys went for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a long match. That match was like 20, no, longer than that. It was
Holy
27.
shit.
27
It was a good
minutes. It
match.
was
But
27.
they wrestled all over. They were doing body slams,
Yeah.
bleachers.
That's
street
oh
fight.
my God, the bleachers.
Well, we carried that feud out for a whole year.
That's a lot.
What had happened was there was a giant guy at the time named APOC, and he was world champion.
Okay.
And I finally built up to go ahead and wrestle him, and I beat him, and it was his last match there too. And all that happened, and then what happened was Braun had come out to celebrate with me. Well, during this time, he had won something like a Money in the Bank stipulation. Well, he was my friend, and we had tagged together and all that, and he cashed it in on me.
Oh,
Kicked
I
him in the
like
nuts.
it.
And for over 500 days, I chased Braun.
To the point where, like, when they finally had the street fight match,
Yes, people were crying.
People were crying.
No
when I
shit,
won.
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was
Oh,
cool because during that same time, they were doing the same thing with the tag division, and the Dean Boys were working their way up.
okay.
And they won the tag team titles that night, too. And people were crying on that one, too. It was just
Because they're waiting for it to happen.
it was just such a big, beautiful build. It was really, really good orchestrated,
All right.
you know, and me and Braun really worked together on it to really make it like, we're like, okay,
What was that, 2018?
2018, 2017?
No, I'm talking about when you won it back from them. I think it was 2019.
It might have been May 2018, early 2019, late 2018.
Yeah.
I'm bad with dates.
That's all right. At least you admit it.
Yeah, I'm horrible with dates. People can be like, "Bro, you remember that?" Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, "What did we do in the match?" And they're like, "Do you remember what we did?" And I'm like, "We did that." And then they show me, and I'm like, "Fuck, we did do that." Yeah, okay. I remember it now. Yeah, and then I remember details from it. Like JJ will show me some clips from our matches, and I'm like, "You remember when I did that?" And he's like, "I remember every day, you fuck." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Because that shit happens a lot too. Or even Braun will be like, I have a, it's cool because me and him
Concussions are
both have a piece of that table we broke with thumbtacks in it that we used, and we both signed it. I
Oh.
have it here. It's in the office, and he has his
What
where
did I
he
not-
has
is
all
it
his
big?
case of stuff. About
Did
that
I?
big.
Okay, I was like, I don't
A little
remember
chunk
seeing
about
that.
big. Yeah. My brother Doug's got one from that. And I think you have one somewhere from that night. So it was just a special night. It was a very emotional night. Me and Braun cried.
Aw.
Yeah. The night I really wanted to hand JJ the belt, when I thought I was supposed to, we both kind of were like, cried a little bit over it. I think I did a little bit because it was like, fuck, man. The build wasn't as much as I thought it would be. But yeah, it's wrestling. It's emotional, man. I love
It
it.
should be.
Oh my God. If you
It's
don't,
passionate.
that's the thing. And then when, it's like, it's okay. You're a gear in a machine when you don't put the emotion in it. You know what I mean? Because it's all just a big machine. It runs. It
Yeah.
has to run. You put the worn out gears out and you bring new gears and you put them in.
Yeah.
But when you start putting the emotion into it, shit, it's more than a machine then. It's like, fuck, dude. And I try to keep my emotion out of it as best I can because I'm very emotional about this business. You know, that's how I got blackballed the first time, was being too emotional.
What do you mean you got blackballed?
I was down in Detroit during my Johnny Attitude gimmick. I had just come back from the academy. It was 2009, getting in 2010.
Okay.
Been wrestling for like 3 years, going on 4th year. Down there, and there was a gentleman upstairs, and he was doing a seminar. And I hadn't paid for the seminar.
Okay.
And there was a couple guys that I knew that were my buds that they were training at the time. They weren't fully trained, but they were really close. They were close enough to where with certain people, they would let them go to shows and
Okay.
wrestle. And we're all sitting there, and they didn't pay either. And there's a monitor downstairs, and we're watching the monitor. And, you know, some guy comes downstairs, and he's like, why the fuck aren't you guys up there paying homage to this guy and all this stuff? And he was like, we didn't pay. None of us paid. And he's like, well, there's people up there that didn't fucking pay. And we're like, we didn't fucking know.
Well, I mean,
if we didn't
how
know,
would you?
why would we fucking, what the fuck? You know what I mean? We would have been up there if we knew.
yeah.
And he started bitching, and then he called my friends pieces of shit because I didn't care what he called me. He called them pieces of shit, and that's when I jumped his shit. And I'm like, listen, motherfucker, I don't fucking think, I was like, I don't care who the fuck you are, dude, but those guys aren't pieces of shit. You don't talk to my friends that way. And I don't give a fuck what this argument's about. It's miscommunication. And I started yelling at him, and then words were spoken, and then it turned around, and word through the grapevine was I said that I thought I was better than everybody and I didn't need any of the seminar. And I'm like, but I didn't say any of that.
That doesn't strike me as something. I've talked to you at length, and that doesn't strike me as something you'd ever
I'm
say.
like, I didn't say any of that. I said at one point, I said, I'm going to walk away from the monitor because you got 4 guys huddled around this little monitor, 5, including me. I'll walk away from the monitor because, fuck, you guys are still going through school.
It's more important for them.
It's more important for you guys right now. I'll stand over on top of you, or I'll go sit for a minute, take a break by the fucking drinking fountain because I'm thirsty as shit, and then come back over here. You know what I mean? Nope. And then after that, I had a couple other bookings that just fell through. And then it got to where it was like, okay, nobody's booking me now. Well, this is fucked up. And then I was going through college at the time, and that wasn't working out. And I had a really bad relationship. And my father died, and everything was like crumbling around me. And my brother was like, hey, come out here to Tennessee. You need a new beginning for a little while. Get the fuck out of there before it kills you. So I went to Tennessee, and when I came back, it was like, time, rocket launcher time. Felt better. Everything was kosher. And then I came back as a new person, and it worked for a while. And then I got hurt. God damn it. But backs will do that sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, you can't burn the candle at both ends. And that's what I was doing. I was wrestling extremely hard, and I was working extremely hard. And then anytime I was having fun, it was extremely hard. And I wasn't letting up. I wasn't giving my time, you know, self to rehabilitate. I wasn't
Bodies
letting it
don't work
recover.
like that.
And I just kept going and going and going. And then my back finally, when I was 27, it went out the first time. But then when I was here just the last time, 37, that fucker cranked out this time. And it was like, shit, gimpy time. And now look at me, I'm bouncing back again.
That's
Yeah.
Why
Slowly but surely.
the-
Slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. You'll be in one day, watch.
In one what?
Wheelchair. No.
Wow,
no.
that's not very nice.
Well, That was because of me.
Because
I was just about to
he's the
say.
one pushing me now. That's what you get.
Look at you! I told
And
you.
you can poke him.
Brody,
Be like,
I have
haha.
to go potty.
You're like, I guess you
Damn
gotta.
it.
Don't. I'll just be like, here, you're close enough. I did have a
I see
friend
why you
that
got
was.
blackballed.
Brody, you're the one that did this to me.
Yeah,
You owe me.
You did it to yourself.
yeah. Supposed to protect yourself. Remember?
You're the one that hit me with the chair.
Oh my God, that's the one thing I can say. I've hit people lots of chairs, never hurt them really bad.
That's good. I don't like those.
I broke Braun
Chairs.
open really bad one time,
Jesus.
like squirting blood out of his head.
Oh, you just contradicted you. You were like, I've never hurt anybody real bad with a chair. I broke Braun open one time.
That was
His blood
my
spurted.
only fuck up I ever say. And Braun still got a scar on his head. I went for the Brody knee drop and I fucking clipped him for real. And I quit doing it after that. But at the time, we were trying to turn Braun face and he was kind of a tweener. And we're like, how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that? Well, with this match, if we shake hands at the end, we can do that. Well, we shook hands at the end, all right. I got him up and just started wrapping his head. Took my tape off, started wrapping his head. He started giving me his wrist. I started taking his tape off, wrapping his head. I got to quit really quick, and he's like, holy fuck, you wronged me so hard. And we shook hands, and everybody started cheering us and cheering Braun. And
Oh, all
I
right.
said, well, you're over. And he's like, I didn't think it would be by doing this. And then that night, he went to the hospital, and he was concussed. And I'm like, fuck, I felt so bad. I felt so fucking bad for that one. That one was a bad one. Other than that, yeah, I never really, it was rough with people, but never hurt him. After that, it was like, no more King Kong knee drops. No more, because it was like, bink. I felt that. Roll him over, and the 1-2 kick out. He rolled back over, and he goes, fuck, you hit me, Brody, hard. And I'm like, I did not mean it. And he goes, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Oh.
And then he put his head back down and like goes, and who's the ref? Nate. I'm like, Nate, he's fucking busted wide open. And Nate's like, no, he isn't. And he goes, yeah, I am. And he goes, holy shit, he is. And I'm like, roll him back over. Like, get it to stop. I don't want the mat to get all fucked up either. Fuck. Kids are here.
Oh, God.
Fuck. You can't swear or anything, too. So you're like holding everything in. You're like, crap. Yeah, let's wrap him. Fucking so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. He's like, that's okay. Just get this fucker to stop. Get it to stop. People are like, whoa.
I would have been aghast.
Yeah. That was bad. That was a bad one, dude.
We have intrigued people.
Oh,
Yay.
we do. We got people coming.
We do. Hello.
Hello.
It's the retail in me, sorry.
You guys can come in.
Yes, come on in. Look, there's
They're
so many
open.
pretty things you will never believe. There's pretty outfits and lamps and umbrellas. I was trying to think of what those were called.
Yeah. What time is it even? Holy shit.
Oh, it's 3 o'clock. All right.
You guys got to get
yes,
shooting.
we do. Because we have other things to do.
You
I'm
do.
so
Holy
sorry.
crap, that